had some great successes, had some not so great stories to go along with that. You need to really work with someone that you believe in. You have goals that are aligned. If they can do it, why can't you? And to learn from their mistakes, to have their guidance.
Greetings, wealth builders. Welcome to Get Diversified, your go-to podcast for all things real estate investments.
I'm Jacqueline.
Melvin Landry. We're thrilled to embark on this wealth building journey with you.
Imagine this. What if your investments not only secure your future, but also unlock a life of financial freedom? That's what we're diving into on this show. Apartment buildings, storage facilities, mobile home parks, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about investing. It's about crafting a legacy, building memories with your loved ones, and seizing every moment. Time is the currency of life. And let's be real, none of us wants to waste.
We've got the insights, experience, and dash of excitement to spice up your investing game. Plus, we'll throw in some real-life stories that'll make you see the potential in every brick and mortar.
Subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to turn your investments into the ticket to financial freedom. Together, we're not just building wealth, we're building a community of savvy investors. Let's get diversified.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Diversified. I'm your host today, Jacqueline Landry, and I have a very special guest with me. She is the co-author of Rewire Volume 2, and let me introduce Natasha Woolery to the show.
Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome, everyone, to the podcast. My name is Natasha Woolery. As she mentioned, I am one of the authors in Rewire Volume 2, Real Women in Real Estate. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, born and raised, proud wife and mother to some beautiful children and a wonderful husband. Enjoy living in Texas, have lived here my entire life. Our real estate portfolio extends beyond the borders of Texas, and I'm excited to share a little bit about my success, not only in real estate, but other business ventures.
Fantastic. So why don't we get started by you telling us a little bit more about your first interaction in real estate?
Yeah, so I actually work full-time in healthcare. I am a physical therapist. That's what I do, 9 to 5. I got my real estate license in 2012 because my husband and I saw the opportunity to invest in real estate. So we started with a couple of fix and flips and wholesales in the Dallas, Texas area, had some great successes, had some not so great stories to go along with that. With those failures, we saw opportunities and ways to learn of how we could do things better for the next property that we would flip. Continued on our journey with the fix and flip. The market kind of shifted in the Dallas area. We weren't finding as many good deals. We decided to invest outside of the state, and we found some land and a cabin in Oklahoma, and then some neighboring acreage as well. And sold that just in 2022 and used that money in a 1031 exchange for 23 single-family homes, half of which are in Missouri and the other half are in Georgia. So we went from no long-term rental properties to 23 in the matter of just a couple of months. So we really diversified.
Tell our viewers what a 1031 is exchange is, in case they're not aware.
Yeah, that's a great question and wonderful to share the knowledge that I have. And of course, always consult your real estate attorney, your tax professional to help you with some of the specifics of this. But a 1031 exchange is essentially a code from the IRS that allows anyone that has a piece of property, whether it's raw land, it could be a single family home, it could even be a commercial space or multifamily, to exchange it for something that is like kind. So kind of a similar asset class. So we sold our raw land to purchase 23 single family homes. So when you do that, what you're doing is you do not have to pay a capital gains tax. That doesn't mean that you're evading the IRS. It doesn't mean that you're doing something that's a little bit iffy sounding or illegal. What it just means is that you're deferring to have that tax or the capital gain tax for when you stop the cycle of the 1031 exchange. You can do that in perpetuity and keep doing that time and time again. There are some regulations. You have to identify the property within 45 days and then close 135 days later. So that total time frame is 180 days. And then you have to hold the property 366 days before you can do something to sell it again or do that. You have to have it for at least a year. And there's some other stipulations too that you have to fall within the guidelines that we don't have enough time on this podcast to talk about. But that essentially is what a 1031 exchange is, that you can buy like for like with that.
Awesome. So how did you get your education on this, on a 1031 exchange or on real estate overall?
Yeah. So I am in a constant state of learning, love to learn. The internet definitely makes everything accessible to everyone. You, myself, the viewers, we all have access to the same information. It's what we choose to do with it. My husband and I took a lot of different courses. We invested in different coaching programs, also utilizing local real estate networks to be surrounded by other people that are knowledgeable in this. We looked up 1031 exchange companies here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, others outside of state, just to get information about that. So for anyone that's looking into real estate investing, you can do this. Anyone can do this. Anyone that's a mom, that they're at home with their kids, they might be a teacher, they can be a first responder, whatever it might be, anyone can do this. The knowledge is out there for you to learn. And the internet has amazing resources, lots of YouTube channels, podcasts like your own. There's so many great resources for all of us to learn this.
Fantastic. All right. So now you have this larger group of single family homes from your 1031 exchange. So what happened from there?
Well, actually, during that time, I decided to launch a small business. So I did something kind of crazy. As a physical therapist working in hospitals, I was always hungry, and I would make my aunt's granola recipe and take it with me from patient to patient. But the little pieces of oatmeal would kind of fall through the cracks. So I modified the granola into a trail mix and gave it to family and friends for holidays and special occasions. People begged for the recipe, but they always said, you should maybe go into business. So I never shared the recipe because I wanted to go into business. And with the encouragement of my kiddos, I decided to launch my small trail mix business, Nomad. So this is my packaging. I'm very proud of it. My whole family helped with the design of this and the design of our website. So while we were doing the 1031 exchange, I launched my small business online. And I've gotten my product placed in a couple of small coffee shops, sold at some local arts and crafts fair shows, wine walks. It's been fairly successful. I'm super excited to share this amazing food product and snack with everyone. But that was happening all during the 1031 exchange. So it was a whirlwind here of doing not just something in the real estate space, but in the entrepreneur space of having a small business. So
yeah, that's wonderful. I'm always at my best when I have a million things going on. And I think that's like right now, because I have so many things going on, but then I accomplish so much more. It's just the way that I operate. So you seem to be the same way. So that's wonderful. All right. So you started this business. You have a different taste of entrepreneurship, and now what?
So
you wanted more?
Yeah. So we always knew that we wanted to diversify our portfolio in investment properties. We knew that single family homes and doing long-term rental is where we had landed and what we wanted to do. We had looked at short-term rental opportunities to do Airbnb or Vrbo, something like that. But we knew we wanted to try multifamily, but that seemed like it was such an unattainable goal, that how could we possibly do this? And especially for me, I'd love to analyze and look at the numbers. My husband is very good about pointing out that I don't need to get stuck in the analysis paralysis mode, but that the numbers make sense, then the deal is a good thing. So spreadsheets can definitely help you make an educated decision. So we knew we wanted to get into multifamily. So again, our learning journey and education started with surrounding ourselves with other investors that have been doing this for a long time. We were fortunate enough to find a local real estate investing group here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and really started attending some of their monthly meetups. I was doing underwriting for apartment complex deals on the weekends. Every Saturday for 2 hours, I would practice doing underwriting for different deals. So I really understood the numbers because it's a different way of looking at real estate. It's not a single family home. So the returns, the net operating income, all of the different terms that you need to be knowledgeable about. So once we started learning more, we had to find deals and find other people that we could do a syndication investment in. And what a syndication is essentially you're registering with the SEC that you're going to be exchanging securities, and you have other investors that put money into a deal, and then you can actually purchase a multifamily apartment complex with more than just you and a business partner. It's a bigger group of investors to be able to purchase a higher price business. It's really what it is, a higher price ticket item for that. So we went from 0 doors to now 589 doors, and we just acquired 3 apartment complexes, a 63 door as a general partner, which means we have an active role in managing it in Dallas. Limited partnership means that you just put money into the deal and you watch your money grow. You don't do anything with that. That's 200 doors as LPs in San Antonio, Texas, and then 326 doors as LPs, limited partners in Fort Worth. And then we will be closing in the next few weeks on a great 133 door apartment complex in Arlington, Texas, right across from AT&T Stadium just about, and Globe Life Field. So in the entertainment district, hospital nearby, and a university too. So when we add this to it, I think we'll be at 712 doors. So from 0 single family to 23 single family. And then fast forward, not even a year, we go from 0 multifamily to 589 and topping that off over 700 in the next few weeks.
Wow, what a great story. So how did you find the right team of other people that you could trust in your general partnership deal that you're in?
Yeah, so Jacqueline, that's a really good question. You need to really work with someone that you believe in. You have goals that are aligned. You have to build trust on a fairly quickly basis, depending on how fast a deal is going down. But when you surround yourself with other investors, you will be with people that have amazing portfolios, billions of dollars worth that you think that you can never achieve, or even millions of dollars worth. But if they can do it, why can't you? And to learn from their mistakes, to have their guidance, to surround yourself with other investors that want to help you learn. There are investors that all they're looking for is money so they can close the deal, and they have no desire to help you grow as a person, to have your portfolio perform better, to even add to the portfolio. So it's very important to make sure you're selecting the right people. I always say that you need to trust your gut. I think as women, we do a really good job of doing that, that sometimes if we get our little spidey senses that something just seems a little bit off, we need to trust that. So when you surround yourself by other individuals that have similar goals, similar processes, it doesn't mean they have to have the same background. The amount of people that we have met in the last year, I would say, amazing, diverse group of individuals that we probably never would have met if it weren't for this real estate investing portfolio and platform in which we're trying to help build that generational wealth for our family.
Yeah, that's really important. So the name of my chapter, so I'm also in Rewire too, as you know, and that's how we connected. So the name of my chapter is called The No BS Version of Real Estate.
Yeah.
And one of my points talks about how do you know who the right people are to do a deal with if you want to get in as a GP. And at the end of the day, I kind of write a whole bunch of questions down that you should be asking yourself. And at the very end, I said exactly what you said. And I said, and sometimes the final deciding factor is your gut.
Exactly.
You know, so do you really think this person is good? Are we going to click? How are they going to act when things go south? Because I don't care how they act when things go well, right? So everybody has a smiley face and you know, but you know, are they action takers? Can they pivot, you know, really quickly when they need to? Or are they someone who drags their feet? Do they get super stressed out and start cursing on, you know, in meetings? Like what do they do? Because that all may jive or not jive with your personality. So, you know, I talk about that in you know, in a small paragraph in the book because it's really important. And, you know, I've seen some GP teams over the last 2 years that I don't want to work with again.
Right.
And I think part of it is just an experience level, right? Where you're jumping in, you may not be 100% sure, but at the end of the day, you need to get started, right?
Yes.
So you're not, 15, 20 years into the game and you've never been a GP. So sometimes it is a risk that you take. And that's how you learn. I always tell people that want to get involved in real estate, just jump in.
Yes.
Sometimes learn a little bit about it, trust your gut, and kind of keep moving forward. So, wow. So you've gone you'll be over 700 units.
Correct.
And what's next for Natasha?
Continuing to grow the portfolio. We're not stopping there. This is a really good time to invest in multifamily. There are sellers that are out there that are very motivated because of when they purchased, which is around the time of the pandemic, and they had flexible floating rates for their mortgage, and that's coming due. And we all know that the interest rates right now are higher than they have been during the pandemic, so they did not budget for something like that. So we have some very motivated sellers that are out there in several markets across the country. So we are looking to expand the portfolio even bigger than what it already is. So it's not just the here and now, it's for what we can do there too.
Got it. So what's the goal for 2024?
So for the goal for 2024 is at least 1,000 units. So to be able to grow and expand, which I think that's doable. That might be too small of a goal. We could probably do bigger than that. We're also looking into different, we're also looking to different investment portfolios. We're not shy to try something new. We've looked at storage. We're, self-storage facilities. Any opportunity that presents itself, we're going to analyze and see if it meets our parameters for what we want to have to see our money grow, to hit that financial freedom number. So we can do the things that we've always wanted to do and not have to worry about anything.
Exactly. Well, that's what inspired the title of this podcast, Get Diversified.
Yes.
So we have a diversified family. So my husband's African-American and we have a mixed 9-year-old. But more importantly, or just as important, is the diversity of your investment portfolio, right? Some asset classes could be doing really well, some not so well, so on and so forth. So we're really looking. So we're involved in triple net, self-storage, smaller multifamily here in our local market, as well as larger ones outside of the Pennsylvania area. But we're still looking to diversify. We love like debt funds and equity funds, and maybe even taking like just a really good gamble in like a venture capital. Right? Maybe we want to stick our money in some, something that's near and dear to our hearts, like healthcare or something like that, just to kind of add something in there that could be a big reward, but also knowing that there's a huge risk that you may lose it all. So we're really big on that. We haven't quite finished our goal setting for 2024. So I'll get back to you probably when I see you at the book launch in March 2024. And kind of let you know what our goals are, and then we can hold each other accountable for at the end of the year for our 2024 goals.
Absolutely. And I think that's why it's important when you surround yourself with other investors, you get exposed to all of those different asset classes you talked about. Because starting our real estate journey back in 2012, I could not have even thought of or imagined, oh, hey, a triple net, wouldn't that be nice to get involved in, or then to have the debt equity or to help with a fund. So there's all kinds of things as an equity partner to helping raising private money for other deals. It's fascinating what you get to learn from other investors for what they've done. So it's definitely opened our eyes into different ways that we can diversify as well.
That's awesome. And I love that you're like a self-learner too, that you just kind of go out there and soak in as much information as you can. So Natasha, if our viewers want to talk with you more about your business or, where you're going in real estate or anything that we talked about here on this podcast, how can they find you?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, we're both in the same book, Rewired 2, that launches in March. So I have a chapter, mine is entitled Fear Factor, Overcoming Fear to Enjoy Success. because my biggest barrier was the analysis paralysis and fearful of what if we make a mistake? What if we lose money? But that's a part of the journey of investing in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So just having to overcome fear in different phases of my life, that's what my chapter is about. So both of us can be found in the book that's coming out in March, as you mentioned. The best way to reach me is via email, and the best way is through my Nomix email. So it's nomix@gmail.com. So GNAWMIX@gmail.com. And then my Instagram handle for that is the same. It's just @Nomix. So GNAWMIX. So that's probably the best way for people to reach out to me and connect, and would love to help others start their investment portfolio if they haven't, or diversify it even further if they've already started their investment journey.
Yes, yes, yes. And I love the women that I have on my podcast or on our podcast. I try to just really highlight successful women, entrepreneur women, because we need more of us.
Yes.
Right. And we need to inspire more that there's more to life, and don't start thinking about this when you're 65.
Right. But it's never too late to start.
It's never too late to start. But if you could start earlier.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, as I mentioned, my husband always says, what if we would have started this 20 years ago? I was like, well, we didn't even meet 20 years ago. But you can't always think about what if, right? Just kind of get started, set your goals, and set them higher. And Natasha, I think $1,000 is definitely way under your potential based on our conversation here. So we need to up that a little bit. We need to challenge you a little bit.
Definitely.
But anyways, we could talk about that in March.
You can be my accountability partner. I would love it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, Natasha, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and to your success in Rewire too. With is this the first book that you're authoring?
Correct. It is.
Awesome. It's a great feeling.
Yes,
especially when
you're,
sitting in front of the publisher and other, folks kind of with the panelists of authors talking about the book. It's a great feeling that is, it's unimaginable, and just the rewards are amazing. So, well, again, I want to thank you for being on the show. And any last remarks for the audience before we say goodbye?
No, I just think that everyone should be able to do what we are doing and what others are. As you mentioned, more women need to get into real estate investing. It is predominantly a male field, that there are a lot of successful male investors, but there's so many successful female investors as well. Young adults too. I have met 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are at these real estate meetups that are wanting to get involved. And like you said, I wish we could have done this when we were younger, and definitely at that age range that the younger adults can do this and not have to worry about working, because it's not work, it's fun. And they can go ahead and diversify their portfolio now at a younger age and hit that level of success that we are much later in life. So I think that anyone can do this, regardless of education level, background, whatever it is. Go out there, read, watch podcasts, videos, help increase your knowledge, and meet up with other investors and learn.
Just get started.
Yes.
You just get started. The world is at your hands. So thank you, Natasha, and we'll see each other in March.
Yep. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Have a good one.
Yep. Bye.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.